Alright, let's slow this down, because what's happening right now around Team USA is bigger than one camp, one quote, or one player. The plans are starting to reveal themselves. The Indiana Fever went through chaos last season. Injuries everywhere. Rotations constantly shifting. And yet, they stayed competitive and engaged the entire year. For Caitlin Clark, that mattered. She came straight out of an epic college season, jumped immediately into the WNBA, finished her rookie year as a first-team All-WNBA player, and then finally hit an off-season where her body and the league had to catch up. This should have been the moment where everything opens up. Instead, it feels like something else is happening. Before Caitlin Clark even arrived in North Carolina, Team USA already had a direction in mind. The plan, quietly but clearly, was to build toward Paige Bueckers as a point guard option. That idea alone raised eyebrows. Then injuries hit. Players cycled in and out. Availability shifted. And suddenly, what looked like a clean blueprint started looking unstable. Now Caitlin Clark officially arrives at Team USA camp. Cameras follow her. The attention spikes. The energy shifts. And that's when the messaging gets interesting. Sue Bird, now overseeing the program as general manager, was asked directly about Caitlin Clark returning from injury. Instead of breaking down her on-court impact, Bird pivoted to something else. How Caitlin stayed mentally engaged while sidelined. That hesitation mattered. That wasn't someone searching for words. That was someone choosing them carefully. Because on paper, this should be a celebration. Caitlin Clark stepping into the international picture after one of the most impactful rookie seasons the league has ever seen. But in reality, the structure around her has people quietly questioning the direction of the entire setup. Sue Bird emphasized one thing repeatedly. Veterans set the tone. Not just coaches, veteran players. Experience. Culture. Knowing how to move in this environment. And that sounds reasonable until you slow down and look at who's actually being framed as a veteran here. Paige Bueckers is in camp. Paige, who has not played a single WNBA game yet, is being positioned as a potential point guard option for Team USA. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just finished a season where she led the entire league in assists at 8 per game. She set a single-season assist record with 337 total. She ran an offense that took Indiana from a lottery team to playoff contention in 1 year. So when the conversation shifts to veterans teaching youth, while Clark is quietly expected to adapt instead of lead, the math doesn't sit right. It feels less like maximizing her strengths and more like managing her presence. And that discomfort deepens once you look at the coaching situation. Stephanie White is present at camp as a court coach, not officially locked in yet, but very much in evaluation mode. This isn't just preparation. This is an audition. White just coached Caitlin Clark in Indiana during a season where Clark logged one of the heaviest workloads in the league. Roughly 35 minutes per game as a rookie, right after playing 39 games for Iowa. That's more than 80 high-level games in 1 calendar year. Her body eventually gave out. Now, less than 2 months later, that same coach is positioned to influence Caitlin Clark's role again, this time on the international stage. That overlap matters. Listen closely to how Caitlin's injuries are framed. She's praised for mental toughness, for staying engaged, for handling adversity the right way. What's missing is just as loud. There's no discussion of how those injuries happened. No mention of workload. No breakdown of usage, minutes, or recovery timelines. The context quietly disappears. And here's the key detail most people gloss over. These coaching roles are not finalized. Official assistant spots won't be chosen until much closer to the World Cup. That means what's happening in Durham right now is more than just camp. It's an evaluation. Stephanie White is trying to show she fits the vision. And in environments like this, value is proven by control, fitting players into systems quickly, aligning with the head coach, showing you can execute without friction. So the uncomfortable question starts forming. Does proving value mean unleashing Caitlin Clark's full skill set, or fitting her into a structure that benefits players already deeply connected to the system? Because those connections are real. Stephanie White spent years embedded in the Connecticut program. Paige Buchers is now in camp. Juju Watkins is invited despite not being able to fully participate. Exposure matters. Familiarity matters. Being inside the system early matters. USA Basketball isn't just evaluating current performance. They're building relationships for the future. And that's why fans are confused. Players who just completed strong WNBA seasons are watching from home, while younger or unavailable players are being folded into the long-term vision. When Caitlin Clark, already a proven disruptor, steps into that environment, every decision gets magnified. This isn't about conspiracy. It's about systems. Systems reward familiarity. They reward comfort. They reward alignment. And sometimes, those priorities come at the expense of pure production. Caitlin Clark didn't arrive here as a project. She arrived as a force, someone who already shifted the balance of a league in one season. Yet the environment around her feels less like a launch pad and more like a pressure test. Culture, experience, veteran leadership, development, all valid ideas, until production keeps getting pushed to the side. That's why this moment matters. USA Basketball isn't just building for today. They're laying tracks for years ahead. Camps like this decide who gets trusted, who gets adjusted, and who gets asked to fit a mold. The answers won't come from press conferences. They'll come from rotations, from responsibilities, from who's allowed to run free when the stakes rise. That's why paying attention now matters. If you want real breakdowns, real context, and coverage that doesn't dodge uncomfortable angles, stay locked into Dunk Love Channel. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and stay connected. Because the next moves won't just define a roster. They'll reveal exactly how power is exercised when the lights are brightest. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.